Russell Wilson, he had some comments for Pete Carroll and what he said about the wearing a wristband earlier this week. We'll dive into that. And the Brooklyn Nets name Jacque Vaughn. You know what Jacque Vaughn is, Jazz?
A little bit.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Familiar.
Kansas fan, so you got to know who Jacque
Vaughn
is.
To.
All right, he's now the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
No Ime Udoka.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
it was very
interesting.
We'll dive into that. And coming up, we'll have our sneakers of the week during our Hated to Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on The W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Questions are swirling about how much the Chiefs are relying on Patrick Mahomes. Pat threw for more than 68 times last Sunday.
Sheesh.
Q, we'll start with you.
Sheesh, 68 times. But and I wouldn't say they don't have a running game, but
they don't have a running game.
Yeah,
they don't flex it enough, and that's the problem with like Andy Reid teams. You look at back when he was in Philly, Deuce Staley, Westbrook, and he still threw the ball it was probably 70% of the time, but it just left you confused back then. But this year, I don't know, what's going, because with Pacheco and Clyde in the backfield, you would think that would be a 1-2 punch. You would think that some games that they would want to give Pat a rest, but it seems like this organization is stuck on making him be Superman.
Yeah,
and I hate it for Pat. Especially when you look at how quarterbacks like Tua have been beat up this year. And when you get quarterbacks that are that talented, the defense is going to bring it every time. And I don't know if Pat can sustain 50 to 60 dropbacks for the rest of the season.
Yeah. What do you think?
68 is the outlier, right? Like that's not that's not normal. And he kind of talked about the game requiring that and kind of the game script. I mean, they had 14 yards on the ground between guys who were running, not named Patrick Mahomes. But sometimes they get a little trigger happy. And we saw that in the AFC title game last year. Running game's working. You're you're on script, you're on schedule. But right before halftime, you go for the kill. And when you have that ceiling, when you know at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes can get us there, maybe you do rely on that a little bit too much. I would like to see a more balanced run game, because right now it doesn't seem like they have one at all.
Yeah, I think they you can tell they've abandoned it just by, you draft Clyde last year, first round pick, and then you're like, all right, we're gonna go to a young guy this year, or you drafted Clyde 2 years ago. And now this year you're gonna go with a rookie and kind of put Clyde to the back. Right. And no matter what folks think, I think Isaiah Pacheco is a much better running back than Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Why you say that?
He can do everything Clyde can do. He can get out into space, catch the ball. He hasn't been a liability in the past game. And I think he's faster and stronger.
I still see some rookie mistakes with him, though. He's not there yet. Ultimately, I think Kansas City sees him as the future.
Oh, of course.
Maybe he's not the present.
Of course.
And I see Jerick McKinnon's role being one where, he's cleaning up the dirty work. He's getting scraps, right? Yes. Like, he's still in that game where it was the Niner game right before the leak comes out that Pacheco is the starter. Right? he got out-touched and out-gained by the two other running backs. Like, I think it's just a product of who they are this year. It's going to be a little murky, and every guy's going to have a chance to contribute.
And my question, do you guys think it's more personnel or more offensive line?
I think these past 2 weeks it was offensive. Now, there's one caveat to that. San Francisco, they're ranked top 3 in defense, stopping the
Tennessee
run.
And San Francisco were up there.
I mean, those are kind of the two teams you really can't look at as far as like, oh, it's the offensive line. No, they were getting beat up pretty bad. So I think going forward, it will be able to tell, like, okay, well, this offensive line is either bad, because I don't think they've gotten that much worse than what they were last year, right?
It takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a new unit. Last year, obviously, they had the immediate success, and fans thought, oh, we can just pencil this in as one of the best O-lines in football for the next 5 years. But it doesn't always work like that. And you bringing in new guys, a rookie 7th rounder. It takes time for everybody to mold and gel together. And you're hoping, if you're a Chiefs fan, that last week was the rock bottom for the run game, and Patrick Mahomes having to do it all.
And then, even as a Chiefs fan, are you worried about how the season looks going into like the grind part of the season, the week 8 through really 13 now, where you're going to face teams that are they're not trying to get over that early season hump anymore, and you have defensive lines that can become more dominant, and then seeing that you're not running the ball as much, pinning their ears back. Are you worried about seeing Buffalo again? Are you worried about even going back to LA and seeing the other Bosa? Does that worry you?
I think Tampa Bay was probably, if you just look at, runs to passes, that was the most complete game that they've had.
Bad team.
Yeah, bad team.
Very bad team.
But you're supposed to beat up on bad teams, right?
Absolutely.
You're supposed to do that.
Supposed to be.
Yeah. And people get on me a lot when I say, oh, well, the Chiefs could possibly win out. Or I think they're going to, and this is just me, not a hot take, but I think they're going to drop one to Denver. You play Denver twice within. I think you're going to drop one. So with that being said, you can't rely on Patrick Mahomes to do what he does. You going into, week 11, week 12, like you said, you're going to have more balanced attack in the running game. And then someone brought this up to me earlier this week, and they were like, well, we can tell that Eric Bieniemy isn't really calling the plays because he's a former running back.
I hate that.
Like, he's a former running back. Like, why isn't he wanting to run the ball more?
Anytime the Chiefs offense struggles, it's Eric Bieniemy. I'm sick of him calling the plays. And then when they do well, it's like, oh, Andy Reid's a hell of a play.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
Really veiled. Thinly veiled.
Very.
Now, Kansas Board of Education recommends removal of offensive American Indian mascots. More than 20 state schools still have American Indian themed mascots, despite the pushback from tribes and councils. Steve?
Man, this is to me, this is a tough one because you have these schools that have had, mascots for a number of years. You have had professional teams who we've seen change. I mean, the Washington Commanders, formerly the Redskins. And I think now the Board of Education, who I read up on this, they have really no say in what happens, on the lower level within the schools, especially like mascots. So for them to make this recommendation, I think is bringing more light to it. But it's rural. Some of these schools are in rural Kansas.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like they're going to make any change anytime soon. That's just me, but I don't know what y'all think.
I think this was kind of ironic to me, given that, of course, the Chiefs have made changes with the chant and everything like that, but the biggest scale with the deepest pockets hasn't done much. Yeah. So what makes that push for small schools in the middle of Kansas nowhere to all of a sudden change when our Kansas City Chiefs that we root for so hard haven't made much change?
I hate that we look to athletes to be the voice in times like this, but it's going to take an athlete to really be the change. I mean, the Kansas Board of Education, kudos to them. But as you said, I mean, really, they don't have a true say. But this is important. This is monumental. This is newsworthy for the governing body to say, it's time. But it stinks that I feel like the players are going to have to bear the brunt of that. Ideally, you want the Hunts, or you want the people who are actually, commissioning that kind of thing to speak for it. I mean, there was pictures of the Hunts in headdresses a few years ago. That were going around. It's time. It's been time. But I feel like we need one big domino to kind of get the rest of the dominoes to go.
And I've been saying this, I don't know if you agree, but it won't be more of a light shed on it. It would be more of a light shed on it if the Chiefs were losing. But since they're winning, and you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who, I mean, he could come out and say, hey, we need to change the name, but you have a guy like that, I don't think any of the fans are going to go against.
It cures everything.
Winning. Now, the Commanders were terrible. You had the Atlanta Braves were bad. So now they have more things to talk about than winning. Now it's just like, oh, well, are we going to beat the Buffalo Bills? Oh, is Patrick Mahomes better than Josh Allen? Like, there's other things that equates to winning that they're going to bring up other than just like changing the name.
But even when they had Steve DeBerg, there were different tribes asking them to change the name across the board, whether it was MLB, whether it was NFL, whether it was college teams. There have been tribes asking. It's just that the Chiefs do that little thing where, hey, we know a couple of people in a tribe, and we gave them some money. They said it's fine. they said it's okay. Yeah. So, but it's been time. It's been time, and the significance shouldn't be on the mascot. It should be on the organization. Like,
well, the city.
Yeah,
right?
like
this is a representation of our community and our city.
Exactly, and the Chiefs are not representative of this area, and especially that team and that organization. And I mean, winning is a good distraction, but that's when it's the best time to rebrand. It is better to rebrand. When it's up, it's stuck. Like Cardi wasn't lying. Like she wasn't lying at all. And you have arguably, as we talked pre-show, like Mark Gunnels was saying, the best quarterback ever. Like it's pretty easy to rebrand that. Like they could be the Kansas City Shags and nobody's gonna care because it's Patrick Mahomes and they're winning. And
Q. You're talking about a fan base that complained that they renamed stadium GEHA Field. People are still going in about that name.
Does that?
So it's called tradition. So people are going to be upset if you rename the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
whether you're winning or losing, they still going to be mad.
You're going to get blowback no matter what. Though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Right now you're hearing it from the native tribes and all that, and then if you change the name, you're gonna hear it from your racist fans. I mean,
exactly.
Like, who do you want to side with?
And that's the issue. Like, who do you want to side with? Whose side do you want to stand on? And the Hunts have stood firmly with their friends.
They've tried. I know we're trying to wrap this one up, but they've tried. They wheeled back the horse. That was one of my first years here. Mm-hmm. The drum I think might be next in the drum deck and that kind of thing. That's not reporting or anything. Just a hunch. Yeah, they're trying. And I think that's maybe because just the sports landscape as a whole. A word to this Kansas Board of Education, but more and more the avalanche is starting to come down.
Right. Definitely.
Now, quarterback Russell Wilson's trying to change the narrative. He responded to his former coach Pete Carroll's comments earlier this week. Steve, we'll start with you.
I think we got Russ. Let's hear from Russell Wilson.
I don't know exactly what he said, but I think won a lot of games there without one on the wrist. And I didn't know winning or losing mattered if you wore a wristband or not. But I think that do whatever it takes to make sure that we're rolling and moving and everything else. The few times I've definitely worn a wristband depending on the game plan and what we have called and all that stuff. But yeah, I think every game matters. Obviously now, it always does.
That's Russ. He's always going to keep it PC.
I mean, it's PC, but when I don't know, because I'm biased because I've liked Russ as a quarterback for a while, and I hate to see it really falling apart this year for him. But it's silly for Pete to be harping on that. Like, he's gone. Like, what does a wristband matter? Like, why are you throwing shots? I mean, one, Geno isn't better than him. So, I mean, I get the confidence in your own player. But another caveat to that, Geno hasn't gotten a chance up until now. But it's silly to harp on that. Like, he sounds like a college coach.
Yeah. And if our viewers and listeners didn't hear what happened, Seahawks quarterback or Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, he praised the current Seahawks quarterback, Geno Smith, for wearing a wristband to help with calling plays during games.
It's a lot of scorned ex-love.
That's exactly what it
is. Because I heard Tyler Lockett before say it's crazy what happens when nobody has to get the credit. And no, that wasn't a shot at Russ, but it sounded like a shot at Russ. And they're balling. They're winning. Yep. Geno's playing the best ball of his career. Why are we still trading jabs in the media? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's obvious that there's still some sort of contentiousness there. It's probably expounded on because Russ is struggling so much, and that big money contract that he signed probably didn't help either. But I think the Russ hate has gotten a little too far.
Think so?
Yeah,
a little
way too far.
Like him in London when he was doing. Did anybody see that? Where he was standing on the logo and everybody
I
just.
didn't see it.
I mean, anytime he appears on the timeline, it's like.
I thought it was all supposed to be all positivity. Hey, Broncos fans, let's ride.
Sometimes he does do it to himself. In that situation, it's like, okay, at what point are you kind of reaching for the clickbait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Pete Carroll hate is unlimited.
Now, Buda Baker gives emotional locker room speech after Cardinals loss. Let's see the video.
We need to stack the up. All of us. Stack the up. Work harder. Recover. Watch more film. I'm tired of losing. It hurts my heart. I'm tired of losing at home. We need to get this together. Come on. Let's go, man. I love y'all boys, man. Let's go, man. Come on. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Let's go.
He had me until he said, "Let's go, man. Let's go, man." He had me before that. When he had that, then they showed the other players, and some of them you saw that they didn't. The camera is here.
Exactly.
You saw that they didn't want to look at, but they're like, "Man, what is he talking about? Come on, you don't never do this until the camera. When the cameras, when the lights come on,
That's hard.
And
That's a hard knock special right there.
Yeah.
I think Jamal Williams did the same one
Yep.
in Detroit. We got to put Cliff Kingsbury on notice because this is a team that's underachieved by far. It's time to start looking at him as a hot seat candidate. And Kyler hasn't played well.
Yeah.
He's kind of regressed. I hate kind of the stuff that happened in the offseason with him and the contract and him playing video games too much.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's gotten ugly in Arizona.
It has gotten ugly. And it's funny because to me, it looked like the teammates were like trying not to laugh.
Yeah, they were.
Because I told Steve in our pre-production meeting, I'm like, it looks like it's a contract year for him. Like this is one of those, you get HBO to put out the clip and then you hold it for whenever you're looking for your next deal, and you have your agent, really harp on how he's a passionate leader,
locker room guy,
and locker room. He's a glue guy. These guys will really rally behind him, especially if you give him the max. 4 or 5 years. He's really a glue guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
For me, I think it wasn't necessarily like a game plan behind what he was saying. Like it was just kind of like, let's go. And when you're sitting there, at least back in high school, for me, because we had a lot of losses, had a lot of those speeches.
More L's and W's.
Some seasons.
All right.
So sitting there and you're like, you're yelling at us, but what are we gonna do to fix it? Or like, I kind of want to laugh because you're not telling me what to do, but you're just yelling. It's like you just want to hear yourself at this point. And I feel like that's the vibes that it gave me. Is like you're just preaching to the choir, preaching to yourself.
What's your go-to pep talk? Can you give us a?
I would at least give a game plan. Can we get a board out or something? Like, I'm not just going to scream there emotionally. I'll at least give some tactics or a way that you can fix it. And I know he was kind of throwing it out there, like more iPad time or whatever you need to do. But maybe, it just seems like a production more than anything.
That's what it seemed like to me. That didn't seem like an authentic, passionate leader.
The scheme stinks.
Yeah.
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury was supposed to be one of the best offensive minds in the game when he was
supposed
hired out of college. In advance, word to Brian Flores, Cliff Kingsbury kind of cut the line.
He did. Came
in Arizona, and now they're putting up 9 points a game, 12 points a game. You're not really creative.
I think a lot of it, though, is Tua didn't play a game. He didn't play any in preseason.
What are you talking about?
Not Tua, but Kyler didn't play in preseason. Yeah. It showed week one.
There was a little smoke there because he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna let you call the plays." Y'all remember that when that came out? He was like, "I'm gonna show you how hard it really is." I'm like, "That's not a well-run organization."
Hold on, who said they were gonna let him call them?
Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler switched in the preseason, and Kyler had the headset on, and he was calling plays for the backups or whatever because he wasn't playing. And Cliff kind of told the media, "Yeah, I wanted to show him what it's like." Because he thinks it's so easy. That was the quote.
Of course, Kyler doesn't know how to call plays.
Exactly. So, it's to me, they've got to turn it around. And if they don't, Kyler's not going anywhere.
Already paid.
Yep. He's their quarterback of the future. So, yep.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, Brooklyn Nets named Jacque Vaughn their next head coach.
Yeah.
I do know him, Steve.
Yeah, do you?
What are your thoughts?
I think it was time. He coached them in a bubble. And for them to just I think it was the report came out that they were going to be hiring former Boston Celtic head coach Ime Udoka. Once that report came out, there was some pushback. It's like, you can't pull him, after we don't need that. We've already got the Kyrie situation. We've already got the Steve Nash situation. KD, there's rumors swirling about he really doesn't want to be there.
Of course.
We can't have another one. Like, we just can't have that. And I think the easy pick was Jacque Vaughn. And it was his due time. I mean, he's a player's coach. He may not have the name right now of Ime Udoka just because of, how good or have you been, in the past, right? Mm-hmm. He's only been an assistant coach, right? He doesn't have that resume, but I think now, you gotta work with him.
The Nets are a mess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near them as a player, coach, staff, whatever. Kudos to Jacque Vaughn for getting his shot, but it's tough that it had to come with these circumstances. Yeah. The Ime thing, we've seen that in the league before. I mean, I think Portland did it with Chauncey Billups a few years back, and you have a guy who you want to hire, but maybe he's not the right fit right now from a character fit or organizational fit. So we'll just float the rumor out there and see what the pushback is. Yeah. And if it's not too bad, we'll stick with him. If it's too much, then we got a backup plan. And Jacque Vaughn looks like the backup plan. Yeah,
and I think that's what it was. I think they might have just leaked it early just to see how people felt, see the reaction, and I think they knew. But yeah, I think there was too much on their plate to add that to it.
Yeah.
It especially with Kyrie's situation, and with what was the report that Kyrie was like ignoring the play calls like on purpose
early
like,
in the season?
Yeah, that is a sinking ship, and they should definitely rebuild. But how do you rebuild in Brooklyn? Like they were supposed to be the new thing. What was that? 3 years ago?
Harden, Kyrie, and Durant.
You couldn't win with that.
They played 15 games together.
Yep. It's just it's a mess. It's a mess in Brooklyn. And if you're just tuning in, joining us on 100.1 FM 1 Kansas City Radio, or on one of our social media pages, we have friend of the show, KSHB 41 sports anchor Aaron Ladd on here. But I think Brooklyn, they have to figure it out. There was a little clip that they put out earlier. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Let's see what happened.
Yes, man. Good shit. That's a win right there. Great job. Great job. Tomorrow's off. Then we get on the road. Ready to win.
Hold on. The interim tag is gone. Head coach first win. Congratulations.
Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
And of course, that clip was of Jacque Vaughn getting his first win, and it was a good clip that they put out because there's still a lot of speculation about how much of a leader is KD, and it shows you right there that everybody's like, oh, hold up, he's gonna get the game ball. The interim tag is gone. Here you go. Here's your game ball for your first win.
The report last year when KD and Kyrie were on the same page. There's been times where they were opposite ends and kind of on the same page. When they were on the same page, it was like, oh, well, we want to pick the coach.
Right.
I remember even Kyrie's report saying, I don't need a coach. Especially in the East, Brooklyn should be a lot better.
Definitely should be. I think that was going to be my point, Steve. And I know you're the resident LeBron hater, but it speaks to LeBron in a sense of it, and it's not really luck. You look at the leadership that he's been able to put forward with the different rosters that he's had. Miami is definitely an outlier with the big three, but I mean the roster he had in the bubble, the roster he has now, the rosters he had in Cleveland, and he was able to turn it around, become playoff teams, go to the finals. Like it there's a stark difference between him and KD. I think that some basketball fans don't want to recognize. And I think it's that leadership. Like, yes, KD is a scorer. KD is definitely an assassin. And especially at his height, he has a lot of intangibles that players don't have, but that leadership quality. Yeah. And I'm not sure why it's not there. And it could be circumstance. I mean, maybe you see it different, but
I don't. I think right now you're getting two superstars in KD and Kyrie that sometimes they just don't, as much as they want to mesh well, hey, we're good friends. But if we're not clicking on the floor, no matter how much of a friendship we have, it just ain't working. And I think that's just it. Like, right now, y'all can say what y'all want, but I don't think the Ben Simmons LeBron thing is working anymore. I've said
compared him to LeBron.
No, the Ben Simmons and LeBron tandem together.
KD.
KD. Yeah. Oh, well, not Ben Simmons, KD. Yeah.
LeBron
that's not working.
Fine.
That's not working. You talk about LeBron. I'm like, but yeah, KD and Ben Simmons. I don't think and I know Ben Simmons has a mental thing. He can't shoot. He can't even make a layup. You got all that talent and you can't win games. Leadership. It's all about leadership, and I don't think KD's it.
I'm with you on that.
Now, Brett Favre also seems to be a mess. Review shows that Favre-backed drug companies overstated their benefits to earn even more money, as if the hole wasn't deep enough. Q, your thoughts?
I mean, he was selling ads for Wrangler jeans. I mean,
what's wrong with Wrangler jeans?
That should have been the red flag on top of the mountain back then.
What's wrong with Wranglers?
At least wear some Lee jeans. Like, remember Buddy Lee? Like at least do something cool, like Wrangler jeans, man. Yeah. Please. So yeah, this isn't a surprise. And
I had a pair of Wranglers growing up,
and that's unfortunate, Steve. I'm sorry to hear that about your childhood. I hope your therapist hears much more about this later this week. But but no, it's for me. I like to see a lot of his misandry being uncovered. Because we get told these guys are greats and how great they are off the field and all that, but he's a scumbag, and I'm relishing in all of this news coming out that he's a scumbag.
And the reports state that they received about $2.1 million in Mississippi funds also. So.
And the first thing that those companies are going to say is the fact that, we didn't know it was misappropriated funds. We didn't know where these funds were coming from. Oh, so you mean to tell me, and I get it, like you're a business, but businesses always have to cover CYA, right? Absolutely. So you're not gonna say that, but then you're gonna look and say, all right, he's just not gonna give us this money. Like what in the long term, 3 to 5 years from now, where is he going to leave us financially? What are we going to owe to this money that you're giving us? Yeah. So, I mean, now it's coming out. So now the business is like, hey, we don't know where it came from. So
Brett Favre has shown us who he is at pretty much every turn. Yeah. From sending pictures of his own, to reporters when he was with NFL teams, to this, to the welfare scandal at Southern Mississippi, had character problems or one thing, but I think the scarier thing is he's been enabled pretty much everywhere he goes by football and celebrity. People see that before they see anything else, and it's disgusting, honestly, that we put guys up on a pedestal, no matter how successful they were on the field. Right. That this is wrong. I mean, wrong is wrong. Right. No way to slice it. I don't care how many touchdowns you threw. Yeah. You backed a drug that said that they could help concussions and had no proof of that whatsoever, and then took money on top of it. It's like, bro, I tweeted a while back, like, Brett Favre is a supervillain. He has done literally every evil thing imaginable and is still out here laughing in everybody's face.
Will he see jail time?
I doubt it. Nah. I doubt it. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying about like people protecting him, and he's got the resources and the wealth to be able to fight whatever is coming in front of him. And then there's the government officials. I feel like they should also see kind of some of the same sort of attention.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. True. DC Attorney General sues Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder, NFL, and the NFL for deceiving residents.
There's no way that Dan Snyder is going to be able to keep this team beyond this season. Maybe even the final few games of the season. Like this time, he's got to sell. He's more and more like the NFL has pushed away from him. I think it would have even been sooner had he not come out and said, hey, I got dirt on you. I got dirt on you. The whole NFL, I'm bringing all this thing down. Like
that was such a lame. Like it's like I'm gonna take my ball and go home if y'all don't let me stay. Like come on. They don't like you in this billionaires club where it's a lot of shady characters and a lot of things going on. You were the one that they don't want in the room, which is crazy. It's got to hit Dan Snyder in his ego. But talk about supervillain. I mean, this man is the OG supervillain.
Yeah.
And now that the federal, that's what's really gonna get like the NFL stuff and him messing with stuff and the cheerleader thing, which is as bad as it is.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That that wasn't a blip. It was until the federal government realized, oh, you've been cooking the books.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been moving money around behind. Okay, all right, bet we got something for you. So, like you said, it's coming from all sides. It's not just NFL, but now the federal government is involved. The sponsors are pulling out, which is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get a new stadium. It's scary hours.
And not only that, you have willing and able buyers, right? So they're going to say, hey, and you're not going to just sell 51% and still keep a stake in it, like which is what he wanted to do. Hey, I'm just going to sell. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. He's going to have to, they're going to say, hey, you've got some buyers out here. It's not like you can't sell the team. because you have some buyers, and we've made it known that there are buyers out here in the Jay-Z and Bezos and those guys.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that was him. I think that was him putting that out there.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because he's like, look, there's an alternative. I don't have to leave all the way. I can kind of be a half in, half out.
Nah, he's all the way out.
Now we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment. Kick it off with the sneakers of the week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at KCWeSpin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag #TalkAboutIt. Message us. We'll talk about whatever topic you want. But we have a talk about it this week. Philly celebrates as Chicken Man eats rotisserie chicken for the 40th straight day.
What?
Let's see the video.
From the sexiest man to the chicken man?
You heard her right. A Philadelphia man has conquered an epic quest, eating 40 entire rotisserie chickens in 40 days. Hundreds of people, this is true, hundreds of people gathered in South Philadelphia yesterday to watch Alexander Tominski devour his 40th and final chicken. They all stood there and watched him. He documented his chicken challenge online and is better known as the Philadelphia Chicken Man now. When asked how it all started, Tominski simply said, it felt like it was the right thing to do.
You know, everybody's got a calling, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Could y'all eat chicken for 40 days straight?
No.
I'm a rotisserie chicken fan.
Yeah.
I think it's versatile. You can do many things
You
with
can do a lot of
rotisserie
things
chicken.
with it.
Only chicken.
But no. Just sitting
that
there.
third
just the
week
chicken.
of rotisserie chicken, it don't hit the same.
It don't.
At the end of the first week.
Facts.
But I mean,
I don't even like leftovers, so I'm only one. I'm one and done. Go get that rotisserie chicken. We eating it one day. That's it. But I saw on the video he posted. First of all, he did this for fun. He didn't even do this for money or anything else.
oh, nobody even put him up to this?
No, this was just I just want to do it. And so it showed the video where it was like he's trying to figure out like on his 38th and 39th day of eating chicken, he had to like mush the chicken up and take a drink every time he ate because it was just, he said it tastes bad.
Yeah, like he's probably not gonna eat chicken for like 2 years after this.
Traumatized.
Like, geez, that is a lot.
What's one thing that y'all could say, all right, I can eat this for about 30 days straight and not get tired of it?
Nothing.
Just like one thing.
Nothing.
If someone's gonna pay you for it.
Salmon.
Really? Every day?
I do salmon, yeah.
I'll go like a fruit. You know, you gotta go around it, you know. Like grapes every day, you know, like strawberries.
No.
Yeah. I'm not getting rotisserie chicken. You know how heavy that is too.
True.
Yeah, whole rotisserie chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, he got that bird in him.
I probably could do like a steak.
Fair.
No,
day?
not every day.
That's heavy too, though.
I could do steak. I ain't talking about like a porterhouse. I'm talking like just give me a little cube steak and we good. A little 2 ounce.
Nah.
No.
Your jaw is gonna be strong after that.
Hey yo. All right. Moving on.
Let's get into our Hate It or Love It segment.
Time for Love It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our stinkers of the week this week, we have the women's Air Jordan 11 Midnight Navies.
Yeah.
A good winter shoe.
Fire.
A good winter shoe.
Fire.
Not bad.
What's not giving Q?
I don't know. It's just that one doesn't do it for me.
I like they took away the patent leather and they put like a suede nubuck type where the patent leather should be. Yeah, I like these. I'm mad that these are only in women. I need a good navy shoe. Like, these are dope.
I rock them. I definitely rock them.
Aaron, you with them?
Sure.
All right.
You buying? That's all that matters to me.
The Eastside Golf Air Jordan 12s.
What makes these even more special is you have two black brothers who have partnered in the golf game, right? And came up with Eastside Golf, and now Michael Jordan has taken a liking into them and now have been partners with these are their second iterations of Air Jordan. So I'm definitely, I love these.
I like them better than the first.
Yeah, these are dope.
And even the story behind it was like the red clay when I can't Earl, I think Earl, I can't remember his last name, who's the partner with Eastside Golf, and he's like, hey, when I played, because he's from Georgia.
Yep.
And he was just playing golf or whatever in Georgia, the red clay, and he said I got all this mud on my shoes, and so this is kind of like to that. So
good stuff.
Yep.
Social status Nike Air Pennies.
No.
Just give me the original. Like,
yeah.
What? I don't like the color.
Yeah.
First of all,
this is a no. Hard no.
Like you got a cream with the.
That's
Carolina
your KC Current fit, though. You know, you get
that is Steve.
There you go.
Yeah, too much though.
The classics Nike Air Max 97 Silver Bullets.
No.
2 words. Got them.
I have them in gold, so
yeah, no thanks.
This is my second version of pair of these. I had the first ones. They were like my travel shoes, so I wear them like when going to the airport or whatever. And then one thing came to another. I didn't have a pair of shoes for my son's baseball practice, and I had to like wear them. And they got ever since then they were all messed up. And I'm like, I gotta give me another pair. And now I was able to get them. So
dope boy 97.
Yeah.
Now Andy Reid among the most handsome NFL head coaches. Hate it or love it.
Oh, let's ask you, Jazz. What do you think?
There we go.
I feel like this is directed at me.
Hey, what do you think, Jazz?
Wouldn't be in my list, but everybody teaches their own. So
yeah, I think he's number 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
He had a good answer to it.
He did.
You need things to break up the monotony sometimes. This is cool.
Thanks. The skincare routine, I can see it. I can see it.
He looks like he's been slimming down a little bit too. I want to give Big Red some credit.
And his sneaker game be on point. Andy, he went from wearing because he was wearing all black Air Force Ones for a while. And then somebody must have told him so now he's wearing the Jordan 1 lows. Have you noticed?
I have
the
not
red
noticed that.
Air Force. When he comes out to the presser, look, and you'll see he
watch.
wears the Air Jordan 1 lows. They're like the white and gray with red swoosh. Yeah.
You think he's got Ann's son on speed dial when he need a pair?
You got somebody on speed dial.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas reunites feud with a-hole Michael Jordan. This beef is gonna go on for a long time. Hate it or love it.
I like this.
Yeah, I love it.
Even though MJ is like my GOAT, he look, man, Isaiah Thomas, he's trying to keep this thing going, and I'm just like, nah, we not gonna keep this going.
I'm bury the hatchet. It's time.
Yeah.
There's no need for beef. Like y'all not even hooping anymore. I mean, for real. Like it's time. We've been losing people too soon. Don't keep a grudge if you don't have to.
That's competitors though. I mean the competitors in them
competed in 30 years.
Yeah, but they it's still not gonna die. I don't Jordan, you don't even see him like in his documentary. He was making up reasons to be against people. Like, yes, and he probably did something or said something very egregious. And Isaiah's just waiting for an apology. Like Jordan is what 60? He can apologize by now, but
and Isaiah Thomas was on the Abu Dhabi. It was some NBA show, and he said. When I was watching The Last Dance, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it with my family and I'm thinking everything is good. And then this guy comes on television and he says that he hates me and then he calls me an a-hole. And then I proceed to watch the whole documentary about him being an a-hole. I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Until I get a public apology, this beef is going to go on for a long time because I'm from the west side of Chicago. Why you got to throw in I'm from the west side of Chicago? Come on, man.
You know, people from Chicago, Detroit, and New York are super prideful. Like you can't remove the city from them.
What? That don't make like so every time they go around, it's like, I'm from the D. I'm from Detroit.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna talk to me crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever met anybody from Detroit?
I got a lot of family from Detroit.
Yeah, they'll never let you forget.
So from here on out, I'm like, hey, I'm from the north side of Kansas City.
It don't land the same.
That don't
land the same.
I'm from the north side of KC.
No.
That don't sound good. All right.
Like the black mafia family started in Detroit.
Yeah.
So like that's like a story. That's something, you know, people can be proud of. But like Kansas City.
But he said I'm from the west side of Chicago, not the south side.
Yeah.
Like the south side.
Yeah. You don't remember when Cam Ryan was on the west side of Chicago looking for a bus down? 2 arms up, touchdown. Come on, man. Where's your culture?
I mean, that's here, but south side.
Now, former Bengals defensive tackle Pecos' father-in-law gets $1 million for selling a $2 billion Powerball ticket. Hate it or love it.
I love it. Like, because it's always those small. I mean, people don't get it. Like, you can't go to Quick Trip, and this ain't no shade to Quick Trip, but like, you can't go to Quick Trip and buy a Powerball ticket and expect to win. Like, it's always those mom and pop. And let me slide in this little duck off real quick so I can grab a ticket. And then it's like, oh, it's a winner. It's never going to come from Quick Trip. I don't think.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
I didn't play, but I was sad I didn't win.
Yeah,
we'll say that.
Same.
You can't win if you don't play.
I was sad.
I'm not a gambler, Steve. Sorry.
It's not really gambling. It's just like taking $1.
It's giving money to something you're not gonna win.
Okay.
That's
how many tickets you buy?
I bought I got the one ticket, but I bought 5 on the one ticket. It wasn't bad. I just gave him $5 like here or $10 like here.
Did you at least win like 20?
I didn't win anything. Like my Powerball wasn't even. I had no numbers right. Bad. It's a bad deal.
Stick to sports betting.
Right. Sports betting gonna do it. Shout out to KCK.
At least you win like $6 on that. Like.
Now, Celtics Jason Tatum had a great comeback for John Morant's late game chirp. Hate it or love it.
Love it.
Let's hear how that went.
Trying to talk him to miss, a free throw, late. He told me he got to make it back home to put Deuce to sleep. So that was pretty much it.
So it's always some crazy stuff that guys talk about on the free throw line. Like I've heard some crazy stories just about, how dudes just because that's the only really time that they get to be on the floor together. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put my son to sleep. That's why I'm gonna make both of these. So
fair.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because we just saw the video a couple of nights before of his son trying to fight the opposing player. That was funny.
All the smoke.
Yeah,
all the smoke. Now,
who's your go-to NBA team?
I'm from Atlanta, so I rep all the Atlanta teams. I'm a Hawks fan. We had a run a couple years back. We're still trying to piece it together now. I like the DeJounte Murray deal, pairing him with Trey and getting it. Speaking of trash talk, though, I like when you could hear the trash talk. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They did games where they either turn the floor mic up or something like that.
Yeah.
You can hear that competitiveness. That's fun. I like that.
I think that was more during like COVID though, because nobody was in the gym.
Yeah.
I bet the bubble you heard everything.
Yeah.
Now, Lil Wayne declares Packers dead after 5th straight loss. We should have gotten rid of Aaron Rodgers. Hate it or love it.
Love it. I'll jump in with this one. Love it. Because Wayne should have never been a Packers fan to begin with.
Should have been a Packers
How you
fan.
a Packers fan from New Orleans?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I never understood that either.
I mean, the Saints were bad for a while.
They won a Super Bowl when he was on his.
Yeah, but they were bad for a while. I mean, you don't name a Saint before Ricky Williams. All right,
So Joe Horn.
You only know him because he came to the Chiefs.
Said name, but you didn't say man.
Exactly. And you see,
I name one.
and you see how long it took you. If we was on the Price is Right, you would have got that.
Nah, but yeah, Joe Horn. But the thing about it is, like, no matter, as much as Wayne reps New Orleans,
Yeah,
you would think he'd be.
you would think.
Mm.
It happens, you know. Sometimes you can be from Kansas City and be a Philly fan, so you know it happens.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of Packers, Packers Devondre Campbell rips NFL over turf after Rashawn Gary's season-ending injury. Hate it or love it.
I love it because the players need to speak up about this. We saw Harrison Butker, who was the other guy that was
Trent
injured?
McDuffie.
Trent McDuffie injured. You know, when they played on that terrible field. Now, I think the more that they speak up about that, it should be all the field should go to this natural grass surface. It just makes sense.
Should have never left.
Yeah,
that should be something that's in the CBA. I know there was a lot of rush last time it was going on, and there were some things that got in there that were good, but I'm with you on the grass. And I think you're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. and where he's headed next.
Yeah.
This is a guy that's had 2 major knee injuries, both on turf.
Yeah.
And he's mentioned how he really wants to go somewhere with grass. Maybe players start thinking about that in free agency. Start thinking about that when they're signing with guys. Like, okay, what are your services? What are your practice fields? What's your that kind of thing.
And how much money does it really take to throw in grass?
It's expensive. It's expensive
Especially
to keep up. That's the thing.
You should know that being from here.
They have like a whole series of not wires, but like boiler system under the field to keep it at a certain. It's tough. It's expensive, but I mean, all these players are expensive too, right? And their well-being. And why would you spare an expense there when it directly impacts their performance?
Exactly.
Now, Bryant basketball coach defends running up the score in 108-point win over D3 school. Let's hear what the coach had to say.
You know what? I think on that, I looked at the play. I looked at both rosters and I put them up against each other, and I'm like, it was really y'all have to go look at both schools' rosters and you come back, like do a book report on it, because look, you play to win the game, right? That's what Herm said.
108
point win. Yeah. It was like 147-37 or something crazy like that. So it was bad. It was really bad. And I'm like, these are 2 college teams, right? Like you just not high school. This isn't elementary, middle. This is college. So y'all grown men at this point. So it's mano y mano. Yeah. What do y'all think?
Can I see the shot chart? Because like, did nobody stop ball?
But like
nobody.
And I looked at the stats, and there was no one that had like 40. 50, there was no guy that went off.
Everybody scored.
Everybody was scoring, even the bench guys. You had one guy on the Thomas College team. That's the team that took the L. Yeah, one guy that was on. You had one guy on this team that scored 20. Everyone else had 2, 3. I'm like, oh, okay.
But like, are you even getting past half court at that point? Like, I'm confused. Like, there was
sharks in the water.
You gotta let up a little bit.
Running clock.
Point.
Yeah.
I'm emptying my bench out at halftime, getting them some clock early, you know.
It's all good. You know, it is what it is. Aaron, we appreciate you joining us on the show today, man.
Man, long overdue. I appreciate y'all having me on. We'll let you know again soon, for real.
Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter, socials at Aaron Ladd 0 2 A's 2 D's. If you're here in KC, I'm on channel 41. And we have a bunch of pregame stuff this week and next week leading up to the games. And then I'm on Arrowhead Pride as a contributor. Chiefs Coast to Coast, my boy Mark Gunnels, we were talking about earlier. That's every Wednesdays at 7. You can also get that wherever you get your podcasts.
Dope. What you guys have going on for the rest of the day?
Man, I've got a gala today. It's the Congress of Black Women.
Awesome.
Where's that?
It'll be somewhere in the plaza, I think.
Buck O'Neill's birthday bash tonight. At the Gym Theater. I don't know if you guys gotten your tickets yet, but I think there's still some tickets out there, and go get them. Probably gonna go ahead today. Yes.
Sounds like I'm getting my tickets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, go rub some shoulders.
The rest of the day, man?
I'm going to Avila University. They got a big football game going on. Don't say we don't cover the small schools, man. We're everywhere. I'm headed to Avila after this.
Who they play today?
It's a great question. We're gonna find out.
We got a couple minutes left. Who's winning on Sunday? Q.
Chiefs. Between the Chiefs and Jack, the Chiefs will win. It's a home game.
Yes.
Chiefs easy, I think.
Yeah,
I'm going Chiefs as well. I think this one will be a more, or I guess, an easier game on Chiefs Kingdom than last week. I just don't know. And Jacksonville, they are versatile in the run game, and they have some offensive weapons, so I like that. But I think the Chiefs pull away.
And that was my question: does Jacksonville have a run game that you can worry about like that?
They don't have a 1-2 punch like last week. Like last week. I think it's just I don't think you're gonna see Trevor Lawrence out in space like that.
He's Travis Etienne, who's their running back out of Clemson. This is his breakout year. He didn't play at all last year, got hurt. But they move him around a lot. He'll be in the slot one time, pistol one time, and he's tough to bring down. It's gonna be it's gonna be on Nick Bolton and those guys to wrap up.
Okay, y'all know who already. I got the Chiefs.
When don't you have the Chiefs?
I said they're gonna lose 1 to Denver. I did. I said they could win out, but I really feel like they're gonna lose 1 to Denver.
I'll never forget that Buffalo game.
Another day. All right, we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. Again, you can check us out, like and subscribe to all of our social media pages at the W Show KC. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace.
Expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.